Hi everyone, it's Miss E again, and today in education I'm talking about collaboration. Collaboration is very important when it comes to educators now. Long gone are the days when a teacher just worked individually. Today, teachers work together, and it's a good thing. I found that out at a long-term assignment that I had in substitution, and boy was I glad that collaboration was happening because it really saved me. The teachers were there for me, and the assignments were there. We communicated well, and it was just great. So one of the main ways of communication was through email. I literally was sent homework through email. It was great. Um, there's ways to communicate like with other tools and web tools and things like that, like Skype is a good way of communication. Any kind of social media that the two of you or more are a part of can be used for communication. And the one of the best ways of communication was once a week we would all gather together in one of the teachers' rooms, and that teacher would be the one that had the board, and we would give suggestions and things like that. And so uh, the teachers were always working together, and that was great. So miscommunication issues can come just because you're dealing with humans and you have personality issues, different mindsets and points of views. Today, in this really diverse world, you also have situations where you're dealing internationally with people, and so international people have different. They have different mindsets, and even in the United States, you have different regions. I recently moved here. When I say recently, in the last few years, from the Midwest to the Phoenix, Arizona area, and I tell you, just regionally, culturally, things can be different. But I am adjusting well because I think that it's really great how things are here. So that is just some of the things that can happen with the communication issues. But I believe it's just going to get better. There's just so many different ways that we can communicate today. And I'd like to say about de-escalating problems. Whenever I found myself in a problem with a person, with a student, whatever, I try to listen first. Listen to their words, and when you have done something a little wrong, or maybe you didn't mean to, but you see how they got hurt and offended, well, go ahead and apologize. Outside of that, I listen carefully to the words. I take notes if I need to, and then I ask them questions. I learned that a long time ago um, with Chuck Swindoll. He showed how Daniel in the Bible, when he was in trouble and was about to be killed with the other wise men, instead of pleading for his life, he did ask questions. He asked, hey, why was the king's orders done so hastily? And the person who was going to kill them all had to answer him. He had to think about it. And that got him an audience with the king and got everyone saved. And so instead of arguing back with a person or trying to give them the reason, if you say, okay, now you said this, um, what do you think your role is in that, and why is that? And it makes that person have to think and start to take responsibility for their action. And like I said, and I repeat, you take responsibility for yours where you may have done something wrong. And so in cases of extreme hostilities, if you feel threatened, then maybe it is time to call security. But also, when one-on-one doesn't work, before I call security, I might add, I would also like to bring another person or two in to kind of witness what's going on and for them to put their input in. And I really believe that for the most part, you can really resolve issues with fellow educators and with your students if you use that kind of, if you just work together and try to communicate with each other. So a collaboration is just a wonderful thing right now. It's the way of the future, especially with distance learning, with short-term, long-term, every kind of learning, because today is just a technological world. It is very techy, and so we can use these tools and work together But I still think that it's a great thing when everyone can come together, whether it is by Skype or something like that, or whether it is together, it's a good thing. So collaboration is great. Thank you for your time.